welcome to Now Showing. A hungry stomach, an empty pocket and a broken heart can teach the best lessons of life. I hope you and I never get to see it, but there are many who do. In the middle of a journey called life, here is a show called Now Showing that gets you a happy relief because we talk about the best world, the world of cinema. I'm Atika Farooqui. Today we tell you stories of stars, animals and beautiful hearts. Let's start with the headlines. Dog is a feel-good comedy film that shows oodles of dog love and a little bit of American life. Jaideep Ahlawat and Zeeshan Ayub come up with their latest offering called Bloody Brothers. Ananya Pandey says time is money and reveals how music helps her performances, especially while shooting emotional scenes. And Aditi Rao Hydari, the star of last week's big Tamil film Yeh Saali Zindagi, talks about her winning streak at the movies. Let's talk about this week's release, Dog. A handsome ex-army ranger who served American Army overseas in war situations, wounded with severe brain injuries, is living in a far-off place, breaking woods, but deep inside, desperate to get back to the same job. On the other hand is a beautiful she-Belgian canine, a trained war dog, aggressive and highly sensitive, has lost her owner to war and must be with him during his last rites. A senior army officer entrusts Bridges, played by Channing Tatum, to take the dog across the country on a road trip to unite with her owner during the burial. The dog was trained by the slain officer, but Bridges and Lulu, the dog, are hardly friends. Would they together be able to complete this eventful journey together without eating up each other? If you are a dog lover or a dog owner, this one is tailor-made for you. Too much dog and too much cuteness overloaded. Also, the behavioral patterns of a trained dog are there. Actor Channing Tatum, who plays the lead role of Jackson Bridges, also co-directs the film with Reed Carolyn. The film is essentially a road movie with a bit of comedy and some drama put in the form of events like Bridges meeting two tantrics on the way, spending a night in a yarn on a rainy night while Lulu watches his favorite show Grey's Anatomy, Bridges being sedated and tied up by a strangely matched couple in the middle of a jungle where the woman sees Lulu's spirit and Bridges' reality. In a few heartwarming scenes like Bridges feigning blindness to take Lulu into a luxury hotel free of cost just to treat him to a soft mattress and a bath in the tub. It was sweetness overloaded, really some nice scenes over there. We also see both the victims of post-traumatic stress disorder, the ranger Bridges and the dog, experiencing deja vu situations that remind them of their traumatic past work which meant unprovoked aggression and attacks. Through this road trip, the two directors also take us through the socio-political dialogue that America is facing and struggling with right now. The clashing opinions of two members of armed service to people's thoughts on liberation from biases and prejudices. The film also takes a chance to redefine masculinity, as Bridges is sexy, handsome, masculine, but not toxically macho. He knows where to stop, and he has that soft side where he understands the silences of a speechless war dog. However, there are few memorable moments that linger on your mind after the movie is over. Also, absence of the scenes that lead the dog as well as the army ranger to such a state of post-traumatic stress disorder fails us to connect the past and the present of the two. It's a feel-good movie that's light on the senses and may appeal largely and mostly to dog lovers. We have seen a lot of movies about brothers. Hollywood has that famous Thor and Loki, films like Brothers starring Tobey Maguire and Jake Gyllenhaal, Indian Brothers with Akshay and Siddharth, of course Ram aur Shyam and Diwar. Bada garam hota hai aur chota bhai naram hota hai. Now, Bloody Brothers is an upcoming Indian dark comedy web series directed by Shad Ali, starring Jaideep Ahlawat and Mohammad Zeeshan Ayub. Both of them are trained actors, one from NSD, the other from FTII. Jaideep is from Haryana, wanted to be an army officer and acted in Gangs of Wasepur, Commando, Razi, Sandeep aur Pinky Farar and of course Patal Lok. While Zeeshan Ayub is from Delhi, Both his parents were theatre actors and he worked in No One Killed Jessica, Tanu Weds Manu, Thugs of Hindustan, Rais and the like. He is that famous good-humoured boy on screen. They talk about their latest offering together.
एक इंसिडेंट होता है दोनों की ज़िंदगी में और उस इंसिडेंट की वजह से दे आर बैक इनटू ईच अदर्स लाइफ्स। और एक तरह से दो बहुत ऑपोजिट इंसान हैं। एक जो कि बहुत ही प्रैक्टिकल वाला आदमी है बिकॉज ही इज़ अ लॉयर ऑल्सो, तो हर चीज़ कैलकुलेट लेके चलता है, हर चीज़ का उसके पास एक लॉजिक होना चाहिए, कंट्रोल फ्रीक आदमी है। एंड देयर इज़ अनदर भाई जो शायराना है, जो किताबें पढ़ता है, जो बहुत ऑनेस्ट है लाइफ को लेके, गेमिंग प्लानिंग प्लॉटिंग नहीं कर सकता। सो जब ये दोनों एक ऐसी कॉमन सिचुएशन में आ जाते हैं जिसको हैंडल करना लॉजिकली भी करना पड़ेगा और इमोशनली भी करना पड़ेगा, तो वो एक टकराव की स्थिति शुरू हो जाती है। मैंने कभी नहीं सोचा था फिल्म शूट्स में रहते हुए कि मैं पहले फिल्म इतने कमर्शियल स्पेस में करूँगा जहाँ प्रियदर्शन जी डायरेक्टर होंगे और अजय देवगन और अक्षय खन्ना और बिपाशा बासु, परेश रावल जी, बहुत छोटा सा किरदार था। बट मैंने उस कमर्शियल स्पेस कभी सोचा नहीं था। हमारे दिमाग में था कि जाएंगे तो शायद विशाल भारद्वाज जी ले लेंगे या फिर अनुराग कश्यप जैसे कैंप में जाने का। सडनली प्रियदर्शन जी के फिल्म में होना और पहली दोनों फिल्में उनके साथ, ह्यूज कमर्शियल सेटअप एंड देन यू रियलाइज के ओ अच्छा। एंड नेक्स्ट थिंग हैपेंड कि कमांडो केम एंड इट वेंट गुड, वेरी नाइस, लोगों से मिला रिकग्निशन एंड देन नॉट इवन अ सिंगल नाइस स्क्रिप्ट। 1.5 साल ऐसा मतलब कि अरे यार इतना खाली स्पेस, एक भी ढंग की स्क्रिप्ट नहीं आई उसके बाद। एंड देन राजी केम आफ्टर सम टाइम और व्हेन पाताल लोक केम दैट वाज द लाइक यू नो जो आपने कहा ना कि भगवान ये पहुंची यहाँ तक, क्योंकि ये कहीं भी पहुंच सकती थी। वो कहानी कहीं भी जा सकती थी। इस पूरे शहर में सिर्फ एक आदमी के पास गई, वो जयदीप अहलावत था।
आई थिंक वो शुरुआत वाला तो जो ये बोल रहा है वो बहुत सेम है कि मैं भी जब दिल्ली में एनएसडी के बाद थिएटर कर रहा था तो एक दो लोग मिलते थे जो बोलते थे अरे तुम यार बम्बई चले जाओ, तुम्हारा ना वहाँ कुछ हो जाएगा, तुम्हारा एटीट्यूड करेक्ट है। मुझे आज तक नहीं समझ में आया कि क्या एटीट्यूड करेक्ट है, पर तुम्हारा एटीट्यूड करेक्ट है, तुम्हें बॉम्बे में काम मिलेगा। तो साथ में वो एक छोटी पर्ची और देते थे कि सुनो वहाँ जाके ना ज़्यादा कमर्शियल फिल्मों की तरफ देखना भी मत, क्योंकि नहीं हो पाएगा। वहाँ पे क्या करोगे तुम एकदम ना एकदम थक्का आर्ट सिनेमा जो है ना तुम उसमें एकदम वहाँ पे जाओ, तुम वहाँ खपोगे। तो अपन एकदम कि अच्छा ऐसा कुछ होगा। तो आए पहली तो फिर भी नो वन किल्ड जैसे का मिली, जो कि भी अपने आप में कमर्शियल फिल्म, मतलब उसमें उस टाइम पे रानी मुखर्जी, विद्या बालन, एकदम
हिट फिल्म थी,
हिट फिल्म कमर्शियल। कट टू यशराज, कट टू विशेष फिल्म। तो मैं ऐसा था कि एक सेकंड हो क्या रहा है, मुझसे बोला कुछ और गया था, यहाँ पे ये इतना ऑफ कैसे जा रहा है कि इधर का कोई बुला ही नहीं रहा। तो मैं थोड़ा ना ऐसी जनरली टहलने जाने लगा आरामनगर कि यार इधर होता है आर्ट वाला काम, कुछ काम इधर भी आना चाहिए। सो आई थिंक दैट वाज देयर सेम। मतलब वो मेरे बीच में जन्नत 2 जब हमने शूट करी थी उसके बाद ना एक मेरा कुछ लंबा 10 महीने का टाइम था जब खराब तो क्या कोई स्क्रिप्ट नहीं आ रही। हाँ। मतलब कोई भी एक भी फोन नहीं, और एकदम बोले यार अभी तो बड़ी 6-8 महीने पहले तक तो वो अवार्ड वगैरह में भी जैसे का वैसे का को लेके कहीं नॉमिनेशन, ये तो मैंने यार हो क्या रहा है, ये सन्नाटा कैसा है। और ऑलमोस्ट उस वाले पे था मैं और रसिका बैठे हुए थे, और रसिका मेरी वाइफ रसिका वो बेचारी सीरियल कर रही थी, 2 सीरियल एक साथ कर रही थी, घर वही चला रही थी, मैं सारा दिन बैठ के टीवी देखता था और गाना गाता था। तो उसने बोला कि भाई अब कुछ उठोगे, कुछ शुरू करोगे या नहीं करोगे। तो पता नहीं कैसे, मतलब वही वाली बात कि आप उसे कुछ भी बोल सकते हैं, भाई ऊपर वाला सुनता है, दिन में एक वक्त होता है, सरस्वती जी ज़बान पे बैठती हैं क्या। मैंने बोला यार मैं ना सितंबर एंड तक अपने आप को टाइम देना चाह रहा हूँ। कोई मतलब नहीं था इसका कि क्या कैलकुलेशन है, इसमें कोई मैथ्स नहीं थी। मैंने ऐसे रैंडमली बोला कि सितंबर एंड तक अपने आप को टाइम देना चाह रहा हूँ। आई थिंक इट वाज 15th और 16th ऑफ सितंबर, मुझे ना एग्जैक्ट डेट याद नहीं, पर ऐसे ही कुछ था जब मुझे सडनली कॉल आया है रांझणा के लिए, क्या ये कर रहे हैं। और 28 सितंबर को आई ट्रैवल टू बनारस, फ्रॉम 1 अक्टूबर आई वाज शूटिंग रांझणा।
फैंटास्टिक।
तो वही वाली बात कि पता नहीं क्या हुआ था, एंड सडनली आप बोलते हो कि हाँ कुछ किसी ने सुना था उस टाइम पे बोलना कि
मैंने तो ऐसे ही बोला था पर कोई सुन रहा।
हाँ कि अच्छा सितंबर ना, तो अब 3 महीने और खाली बैठ, तुझे डॉट सितंबर में दूंगा काम।
Up next, we have Ananya Pandey. Chunky Pandey humored us all in the films from the 90s. His daughter has certainly taken a smashing start. Among the many endorsement deals that she has, this one, she says, is special. She talks to my colleague Vishal Chatkara about how she values money, the conversations she has with her childhood friends Suhana Khan and Shania Kapoor, and also reveals that one song that helps her get the right mood at work. Also, she talks about Gehraiyaan.
Ananya, the year really started on a very good note for you. First, this bona fide hit with Gehraiyaan, and now this association with this Timeware brand. You are having a good time. Correct to say you're using your time wisely?
Yes, I'm trying to use my time wisely, and I have Esprit to help me with that. But it started off great, of course, with Gehraiyaan and the way that people reacted to it and the love that all of us got for the film. And now joining the Esprit family is like the cherry on top.
Since we're talking about endorsements, this also means money. Do you remember when you started valuing money?
I've always valued money. Growing up, my father and mother, they've always instilled the importance of hard work and respecting the money that you earn. So it's, my dad used to always say, money is not grown on trees. He would always instill that idea in our mind. And I've always associated money with hard work.
In your interview with Elle magazine, you said that you discussed everything under the sun with your close friends Suhana Khan and Shania Kapoor.
Yes.
Both will be soon seen in their respective debut film. Suhana is doing Zoya Akhtar's adaptation of Archie comics and Shania in Bhedarak. You are the one who's most experienced of the lot because you've been part of 5 films now. I'm counting Liger as well. What piece of advice you gave them when they started their individual film journey?
I feel like in friendships, it's a normal conversation. I don't think I ever think of it as like I need to give them any sort of advice, because I think that they're incredibly intelligent, and they have to kind of make their own path. They have to make their own mistakes, and they have to learn from it themselves, because that's what I did, and that's what my family kind of let me do. They wanted me to have my own journey, so that's what I'd wish for them. I'm always there to help them, and even I've only started out, like it's literally my 3rd year in the industry, so I'm no one to give them any advice.
When you start work on a movie, even say after attending workshops and dialogue reading sessions, do you look forward to maybe a pep talk or a kind of motivational speech from director, especially on day one?
I don't know. I think I'm very hard on myself. I'm my biggest critic, and I'm someone who's always seeking validation on set, and especially from the director. So I think I just have to kind of go and do that first day and do that first shot and just feel. I think it's all about me having that switch where I'm like, okay, now this is my character. Now I'm not Ananya anymore. This is a choice that my character would make, and not Ananya as the person.
So is day one always like an easy scene for you, or it's always you thrown in a deep end on day one generally?
It depends with every film. With Student of the Year, we started with a song. That was my first shot in a film ever. And then with Khali Piri, I remember there was an extremely hard and extremely important scene. That was our first day. So I think it completely depends on what the director chooses. And they're both equally exciting, On one hand, if you're starting off with something easy, you're getting that time to kind of find your character. And if you're thrown into the deep end, sometimes you're surprised by your own choices and, the serendipity moments that come out of it.
What is that one thing that you always carry with you on the sets, Ananya, that help you with your craft?
I always carry a book with me whenever I go on set. For me, perfume is extremely important. Right before I walk out of my van, I need to, get this particular scent that just reminds me of the character. I'm also very big on music. I always have particular songs for situations or characters.
So what song you generally play when you have an emotional scene?
So in Gehraiyaan, with Sid, particularly with Tian Zain's dynamic, I had the song Cold Mess by Prateek Kuhad. That was my song that just brought me back into the dynamics that Tian Zain share.
Heading for a short break. After the break is that girl on that train who now has become Hey Sinamika. It's not a puzzle. The girl with the royal connection, Aditi Rao Hydari, is here with us after the break. Welcome back to Now Showing. I'm Atika Farooqui. Aditi Rao Hydari was that girl in Delhi 6 that everyone wanted to know more about. The doe-eyed beauty has had a consistent journey in films from both Hindi and vernacular cinema. She was recently praised for her work in Ajeeb Dastans. Aditi's latest Tamil film, Yeh Sinamika, which opened to packed houses, also got rave reviews. My colleague Vishal Chatkara speaks to Aditi Rao Hydari about Yeh Sinamika and got her to talk about much more.
Aditi, first, congratulations for your winning performance in Hey Sinamika. You are getting a lot of praise for your role in the film, which also stars Dulquer Salmaan. You know, everybody is talking about you right now. I saw a clip of fans where they were whistling in theater when you appeared on the screen. Were you expecting so much love and praise for this movie?
No, I wasn't. It's always nice to be surprised beyond what you think might happen. I did hope that people would enjoy it because we had a lot of fun making it. And you know, you have a feeling about certain films because it's fun, whatever. But so many things that need to work for it to click and for audiences to also then come into the theater and watch it. So it's way beyond what I expected. All in all, it's very, very positive, and I'm particularly very grateful for all the whistles.
I want to take you back to 2011 with your movie Yeh Saali Zindagi. It's that perfect crime caper that I think deserves a re-release. It doesn't feel old even when you watch it again. And I can watch that movie on a loop. There's a sequence in that film where you slap Arunaday's character when he comes to thrash the guy who owns that pickle factory. Was that the most challenging bit for you in that movie? And how do you look back at Yeh Saali Zindagi?
I think that entire film was quite challenging because you know that love story and what happens in that love story is a part of a larger plot. You know, in that short span of time, you have to make it work. A lot of people told Sudhir Mishra, "इतनी छोटी सी, इतनी delicate सी है, ये कैसे इतने 6'4" इंसान को slap करेगी?" And Sudhir sir was like, "Yeah, but I want her because of that." And I remember there was a scene where I have to give some galis, and Sudhir Mishra called me and said, "Idhar aao." Said, "ये तुम्हारे मुंह से गाली नहीं लगती है." जाओ और मग करो, बहुत बार गाली दो सबको, फिर आके करो. So I was really like being dropped in the deep end of a pool and saying, "Abhi, now just swim." But I would say that was one of the tougher scenes because from, you know, everything for her, she's very young, you know, so she's not able to control anything that's happening in her life. Everything is beyond her control, and there's anger also, but there's also love, there's also confusion. There are so many things in this one little girl, you know.
You know, you have emerged as this pan-India star who do this diagonally opposite characters and looks comfortable in each one. Be it playing a Tamil-speaking Mona in Yeh Sinamika, to Priya Sharma of Ajeeb Dastan, to Merunisa of Padmavat, or Sheena of Rockstar. You know, what is your quickest turnaround time or the time you required to do a scene? I mean, can you get ready and shoot for a scene, say, given a 2-hour notice?
In another language?
Yeah,
In Hindi, yes, absolutely. In Hindi, I mean, I'm comfortable with Hindi and I can think in Hindi. In Tamil Telugu, it's tougher, much tougher. I do understand both languages, but I struggle. But it quite often happens that lines are rewritten or new lines are. You know, there was a film that I was doing with a director called Mishkin who would quite often change lines on set. I was doing a film directed by Dhanush. He did not like to give me the script. He would only give me the lines on set. And I would manage to learn them and do them. And maybe I work well under pressure. I don't know what it is, but I don't enjoy it. Like I will start crying if I get my lines wrong. So I do it and I challenge myself. I like the challenge, but I like to have my lines in advance, especially in a language that I don't know. But now I'm getting better with being given lines on set and doing it. I'm okay with it now.
And we come to the end of this episode. If you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things, said Albert Einstein. While all the people featured on this episode have done just that, it's time for you to take that plunge too. See you next week. I'm Atika Farooqui signing off. Take care and thank you for watching.